If you think you need to train 6 days a week to get in shape, this video might save you a lot of stress. Because for most people, 6 workouts a week is not the answer. It sounds good on paper, you feel motivated, you want results fast. So you tell yourself, okay, from this Monday, I'm training 6 days a week, no excuses. And maybe you do it for 1 week, maybe 2, but then work gets busy, you miss one session, then another one, then you feel like you failed. And suddenly you're back to doing nothing. And this is where most people get fitness wrong. They think the problem is that they are not doing enough, but a lot of time the problem is they're trying to do too much too soon. So in this video, I want to explain why 3 proper strength workouts a week can be enough to build muscle, lose fat, get stronger, and actually stay consistent. And I'll show you a real example from one of my clients who made a great transformation using exactly this structure. The first thing you need to understand is this: more workouts does not mean better results. Better training gives better results. There's a big difference between both. So you can train 6 days a week, but every session is random. Your recovery is poor, your food is all over the place, and you're not actually getting stronger. You're just collecting your workouts, you're not building a body. And I see this a lot. People do chest one day, arms the next day, then some random HIITs, random circuits, then some cardio because they feel guilty, then they skip legs because they're already tired. It feels like they're doing a lot, but there's no structure, there's no progression, there's no clear plan. And if there's no clear plan, your body doesn't know what to adopt. That's why I always tell my client, you don't need to train more, you just need to train better. 3 strength sessions a week works really well because it gives you enough stimulus to change your body, but enough recovery to actually adapt. And this is important because your body doesn't build muscle during the workout. The workout is a signal. The recovery is where the change happens. So if you're someone constantly training, but not recovering, not sleeping, not eating enough protein, and always feeling tired, you're not maximizing your results. You're just beating yourself. 3 days a week is also realistic. Most people can fit 3 sessions into their week. Even if work gets busy, even if life is not perfect, even if you travel sometimes, and that's the key. The best program is not the one that looks perfect on the program. The best program is the one you can repeat for months, because 3 workouts a week done for 6 months will beat 6 workouts a week done for 2 weeks. Every single time. Now, if I'm building a 3-day strength plan for someone, one of my favorite structures is very simple. Upper body, lower body, full body. Not complicated, not fancy, just effective. So day 1 could be upper body. You're training your push and pull movement. Things like bench press, dumbbell press, rows, lat pull down, shoulder press, arms, core. Day 2 is lower body. Squats, leg press, RDLs, lunges, hamstring curls, glutes, calves if needed, and day 3 is full body. This is where you bring everything together. A squat or hinge, a push, a pull, some core, maybe some conditioning at the end. This structure works because you're training the whole body across the week. You're not missing anything. You're not destroying one muscle group with 20 exercises, and you're not living in the gym. You're just training with more intention. And for most people, that's more than enough to start seeing real changes. A good example of this is one of my clients, Hafid. When we first started, he wasn't coming in with some crazy 6-day plan. We started with structure. He had some shoulder issues, so the goal was not to throw heavy weights at him. The goal was to build him properly. We focused on 3 strength sessions a week: upper body, lower body, full body. And we kept it very simple. We worked on his movement quality, we built his strength gradually, we made sure that his shoulder could tolerate the training. We didn't keep changing everything every week. We repeated the basics. We progressed the exercises, and over time, his physique changed massively. Not because he was training every single day, not because he was doing some extreme routine, but because he stayed consistent with a simple structure. And what I really like about his journey is that he first trained with me in person, and later he moved online. But the structure didn't disappear. He kept training 3 times a week, he kept checking in, he kept following the plan, and his progress continued. That's the point I want people to understand. The magic is not in the number of workouts. The magic is in the structure, the progression, and the consistency. Now, if you're only training 3 days a week, the quality of each session matters. You can't just walk in and do random exercises. Each session needs a purpose. For most people, I would keep it simple. Start with one compound lift. That could be squat, deadlift, or any kind of variations, bench press, row, or overhead press. Then the accessory work to support the main goal. Then finish with core, conditioning, or mobility depending on the person. You don't need 15 exercises. You need 5 or 6 good ones done properly. And this is where people make mistakes. They think a workout has to look complicated to be effective, but honestly, a good session can be very simple. A lower body day could be squat or leg press, RDL, lunges, hamstring curl, core. That's enough if you do it properly. An upper body day could be press, row, pull down, shoulder press, arms, core. Again, simple, but when you track it, progress it, and repeat it consistently, it works. The other thing that matters is progression. This is probably the biggest reason people don't see results. They go to the gym, they sweat, they do exercises, but they're not tracking anything. They don't know if they're getting stronger. They don't know if they're doing more reps. They don't know if their form is improving. So every session becomes random. If I'm coaching someone, I want to know, are we adding reps? Are we adding weight? Are we improving control? Are we improving range of motion? Are we getting closer to failure safely? Because that's how the body changes. It needs a reason to adapt. So if you're training 3 days a week, don't just show up and move. Show up and progress. That's the difference. Now, this doesn't mean cardio is bad. Cardio is great. Walking is great. Conditioning is great. But if your goal is to build a better physique, lose fat, look stronger, strength training has to be the main foundation. A lot of people do the opposite. They do loads of cardio, random HIITs, sweat as much as possible, and they wonder why they don't look the way they want. Cardio can help with health and calorie burn, but strength training shapes the body. So I'll keep cardio simple, walk daily, get your steps in, add conditioning if you enjoy it or if your goal needs it. But don't use cardio as punishment and don't replace strength training with random sweaty workouts just because they feel harder. Harder is not always better. Better is better. Now, of course, some people can train 4, 5, or 6 days a week. If you enjoy it, your recovery is good, and your food is good, your sleep is good, and your schedule allows it, that's fine. But you don't need to start there. And you definitely don't need to feel like 3 days isn't enough. For most people, 3 days is the best starting point because it gives you enough training to progress and enough flexibility to stay consistent. And once you build that base, then we can add more if needed. But don't skip the base, earn the extra volume. So if you're someone who keeps telling yourself, I need to train 6 days a week, I want you to think about it differently. Can you train 3 days a week properly? Can you follow a plan? Can you progress your lifts? Can you walk more? Can you eat enough protein? Can you sleep enough to recover? Because if you can do those things consistently, you'll be surprised how much your body can change. You don't need to live in the gym. You need a structure you can actually repeat. That's the method approach. Simple structure, better habits, stronger body, real consistency. And if you want a simple 3-day strength structure to get started, click on the link below or DM me the word training in my Instagram. I'll send you a simple weekly structure you can use to start building strength without overcomplicating it. See you in the next video.